Have you ever dreamed of taking full control of your life, but found yourself stuck in the endless loop of a 9-to-5 job, monthly bills, and constant worries about not having enough capital to start your own business? You want to launch a startup, but then the statistic hits you: 90% of them fail within 5 years. Time, money, pressure, it all feels like a wall standing between you and your dream of becoming your own boss. But what if there's another way? A path that lets you step into the role of entrepreneur right now with a business that already has customers, cash flow, and a solid foundation. That's the mindset behind the book Buy Then Build. Acquire an existing business and then scale it into an empire of your own. And if you want to keep exploring groundbreaking ideas like this, don't forget to follow and subscribe to the channel, because each book summary here could be the very key to transforming your mindset, your career, and your life. Part 1. Why starting from scratch is so risky. In the US, entrepreneurship is often glorified as the new American dream. We constantly hear stories about Steve Jobs tinkering in his garage or Jeff Bezos launching Amazon out of a tiny room. These stories inspire us, but they also hide a harsh reality. Most startups fail. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, about 20% of new businesses shut down within the first year. After 5 years, nearly 50% are gone. Stretch that to 10 years, and only about 1/3 survive. In other words, if you start a business from scratch, the odds of failure are far greater than the odds of success. But statistics can feel abstract. Let's bring it down to everyday life. Imagine Sarah, a marketing professional in Chicago. Tired of the corporate grind, she decides to follow her dream of opening a small vintage-style coffee shop. She pours in her entire savings of $80,000, borrows another $120,000 from the bank, and spends it on a lease, a shiny Italian espresso machine, staff salaries, and aggressive Facebook ads. Opening week is packed. Friends and coworkers come to show support. But after a few months, the buzz fades. Regular customer traffic drops sharply. The monthly operating costs of $20,000 keep piling up, while revenue can't catch up. Within a year, Sarah shuts down the shop, left with 6 figures of debt. This isn't an isolated story. A survey by CBI Insights found that 42% of startups fail because there's no real market need, 29% because they run out of cash, and 23% because of the wrong team. In other words, the most crucial things, customers, cash flow, talent, are exactly what you have to build from scratch, and most founders simply don't last long enough to figure it out. Take another example. James, an engineer in California, caught up in the tech startup craze. He quit his job and spent 2 years developing an app to connect tutors with students. The idea sounded good, but the cost of online marketing to acquire users was sky high, and giants like Wyzant and Tutor.com already dominated the market. James burned through $200,000 of savings before giving up and returning to engineering. What Sarah and James and millions of other aspiring entrepreneurs have in common is that they started from zero. They had to prove there was a market for their product. They had to build their brand, customer base, cash flow, and team from nothing, all while their savings drained away month after month. Walker Deibel calls this the trap of traditional entrepreneurship. We're dazzled by the glamorous image of successful startups, forgetting that most end in broken dreams. So before you set out to build something new, ask yourself, could I start from a stronger foundation instead? That's where the buy then build mindset comes in. Instead of accepting the risks of starting from scratch, you acquire an existing business, one with customers, cash flow, and processes already in place. Meaning, instead of spending 5 years just to prove an idea, you can step into entrepreneurship immediately. Part 2. The buy then build mindset. Acquire first, grow later. Walker Deibel wants us to rethink what it means to be an entrepreneur. Most people believe that to earn that title, you need a brilliant, original idea, start from zero, and build everything with your own two hands. But he points out another path, more practical and less risky. Instead of starting from scratch, you can step into entrepreneurship by acquiring an existing business and then growing it according to your vision. That's the philosophy of buy, then build. Buy first, then build. Picture two people who both want to become entrepreneurs. The first follows the traditional route, writing a business plan, pitching investors, trying to attract customers, building a brand from nothing, and struggling to hire an initial team. During those early years, the risk of failure is extremely high. An idea might look great on paper, but that doesn't mean the market actually wants it. The second person chooses a different path. He buys a laundromat in suburban Ohio that's been running for 15 years. It already has hundreds of loyal customers, steady monthly cash flow, an experienced staff, and smooth operations. From the moment he signs the contract, he owns a business that generates money day after day. His question is no longer, will I have customers, but rather, how can I improve services, boost profits, and expand further? Both are entrepreneurs, but their starting points couldn't be more different. The first begins in the red, with uncertainty and the fear of customers never showing up. The second steps into a business with revenue, loyal customers, and a solid foundation for growth. What's unique about the buy then build mindset is that it combines two roles, investor and entrepreneur. Before acquiring a company, you need to read financial statements and understand one key metric, EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It may sound complicated, but really, it answers a simple question. How much money is this business actually making from its core operations? If that cash flow is consistent and growing, you have a solid foundation to build on. And the moment you sign the deal, you're no longer just an outside investor. You're the captain of the ship. You're the one driving improvements, innovations, and new value, the very definition of an entrepreneur. Take, for example, a former banker in Texas. He saved $200,000 and borrowed more through a government-backed program called an SBA loan. This special financing, guaranteed by the U.S. Small Business Administration, helps people acquire or expand small businesses. With it, he purchased a landscaping company already making over $1 million in annual revenue. Instead of spending 10 years finding customers, he focused on upgrading the website, running Google ads, and adding new services. Within just 2 years, revenue nearly doubled. He didn't just buy a stream of cash flow, he scaled it dramatically through vision and execution. That's the essence of buy then build. You're not stepping into a barren desert, planting seeds and hoping for rain. You're stepping into a field that's already green and thriving, and with your skills and vision, you transform it into a farm that's more abundant and prosperous than ever before.
Part 3. The benefits of buying a business. When people first hear about buying a business, their initial reaction is often hesitation. They think, if someone else has already been running it, will I still have room to do something new? But the truth is, the benefits of acquiring an existing company are far greater than most imagine. The first and most important benefit is immediate cash flow. Unlike starting from scratch, where you might wait 2, 3, or even 5 years just to hope for profits, an operating business has already proven that customers are willing to pay. For example, imagine buying a car wash in Florida, where hundreds of vehicles pass through each day. On your very first day as the new owner, even before you change a single thing, the machines are still running, customers are still paying, and you already have the cash to cover payroll, service your loan, and keep some profit for yourself. The second benefit is significantly reduced risk. Remember what we said earlier, 90% of startups fail within 5 years. That's because they start with uncertainty, no customers, no proven market, no tested systems. But an established business is different. It comes with financial history, customer records, and clear data you can analyze. You don't have to guess whether the idea will work, the evidence is already there in the books. The third benefit is saving time and effort. Building a brand from scratch takes years of marketing, trial and error, and countless pivots. But when you buy a company, you inherit all the intangible assets the founder spent years creating. Brand reputation, supplier relationships, and a loyal customer base. These are things money alone can't buy overnight, but you can gain them instantly with a single signature. And finally, there's a benefit few people talk about. You get to unleash your creativity on a proven foundation. Take the example of a sandwich shop in California that sold 300 sandwiches a day. The new owner didn't change the recipes, he simply added delivery through a mobile app. The result? Sales jumped 40% in just a few months. He didn't have to convince the market that his sandwiches were good, that was already proven. All he did was expand the way customers could access them. That's the real difference. Starting a business from scratch is a gamble, but buying a business is like entering a game where the score is already tilted in your favor. You step onto the field with a built-in advantage. Your job is simply to play smart and turn that edge into a bigger win. Part 4. How to choose the right business to buy. One of the biggest questions when stepping into the buy-then-build journey is this: how do you pick the right business? Clearly, not every company on the market is a golden opportunity. Choose wrong, and you might end up with a pile of debt disguised in shiny wrapping. Choose right, and you're holding a gold mine ready to be unlocked. First, think about personal fit. Walker Deibel emphasizes that buying a business isn't just about numbers, it's also about people. If you've worked in the restaurant industry, you'll have an advantage buying a cafe or a catering service because you already understand kitchens, staff, and customer tastes. If you come from a tech background, acquiring a small software company will be far more natural than diving into agriculture. Choosing a business aligned with your skills and experience means you're stepping into a game you already know how to play. Next, look at cash flow and consistent profitability. A good business is one that's already bringing in real money, not just promises. Review at least the last 3 years of financials. Is revenue growing steadily? Are profits consistent? In the US, small businesses are often valued based on their actual earnings, commonly measured by EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. For example, if a grocery store in Colorado reliably generates $250,000 in annual profit, that's a strong sign you'll have solid cash flow from day one. But opportunities always come with challenges. A business with high EBITDA isn't necessarily perfect. It might depend too heavily on one big client. If that customer leaves, revenue could collapse. Or the staff may be loyal only to the former owner, meaning you'll need to work hard to retain them. In other words, even when you see an attractive deal, you must look deeper to avoid hidden pitfalls. That's why it's crucial to assess both the team and operations. A good business isn't just about customers, it's about committed employees and smooth systems. If everything has been running solely because of the old owner, their exit could leave a dangerous gap. On the other hand, if the company has clear processes, trained staff, and loyal customers, then all you need to do is take over and gradually improve. And finally, evaluate growth potential. Stability is a strong foundation, but you also need to see room for expansion. Imagine a plumbing service in Chicago that's been steady for 20 years but has never advertised online. That's your opportunity. With a modern website and a few targeted Google ad campaigns, revenue could spike dramatically. Choosing a business is like choosing a house. You don't just admire the fresh paint, you inspect the foundation, plumbing, wiring, and the neighborhood's potential for appreciation. The same applies to a business. Focus on the essentials: cash flow, customers, team, and scalability. And always remember, opportunities come in hand with challenges. Only when you clearly see both can you truly turn buy then build into a powerful lever for financial freedom.
Part 5. Finance and leverage. Using debt to buy a business. When people hear about buying a business, many immediately think, but I don't have millions sitting in the bank to do that. It's a very real concern, but as Walker Deibel explains, you don't need piles of cash to play this game. In the US, there's a unique tool designed to help entrepreneurs like you, the SBA loan program. SBA stands for the Small Business Administration. The government guarantees a portion of the loan, which makes banks more willing to lend you a large amount to acquire a business. In practice, this means you put in a relatively small down payment, while the rest is financed through the loan. Picture this. You have $150,000 in savings. On your own, that might only be enough to open a small coffee shop or a modest storefront. But with the leverage of an SBA loan, You could acquire a landscaping company generating $1 million in annual revenue. Your personal capital covers just a fraction of the purchase price, while the bank provides the rest, and the company's cash flow helps you pay off the loan over time. That's the power of leverage. You use other people's money to acquire a cash flow that already exists. It's very different from borrowing money to launch an unproven coffee shop, where you have no idea if customers will ever come. Here, you're borrowing to buy a business that's already proven its ability to make money. That dramatically lowers the risk. Of course, opportunity always comes with responsibility. Debt leverage is a double-edged sword. Managed well, it allows you to grow the business quickly and repay the loan comfortably. Managed poorly, or if you buy the wrong company, it can become a burden. This isn't a game for dreamers. It's for disciplined, calculated entrepreneurs. Take a real-world example. A couple in Arizona used an SBA loan to acquire a medical equipment supply company. They put down about 10% of the purchase price, financing the rest through the bank. The business was already generating steady revenue, but under their leadership, profits nearly doubled in just 3 years. They paid down the debt, built equity, and most importantly, they owned a stream of monthly cash flow instead of just relying on salaries. Walker Deibel calls this the art of acquisition entrepreneurship. You don't need to be wealthy to start. You need to know how to leverage finance wisely. With the right mix of government support, bank financing, and the business itself, you can create your own path to financial freedom. Part 6. Common mistakes when buying a business. Buying a business sounds appealing. You get built-in cash flow, loyal customers, and an existing team. But if you step in without caution, what could have been a golden opportunity can quickly become a burden. Walker Deibel stresses that there are several common mistakes buyers make, mistakes you can avoid if you know them in advance. Mistake 1. Falling for appearances. It's like buying a house just because it has fresh paint. Some buyers choose a company simply because the brand looks familiar or someone promises growth potential. But once you open the books, you may find patchy revenue, inflated costs, and heavy debt. In the US, many entrepreneurs have bought well-known neighborhood restaurants, only to realize that after expenses, almost no profit was left. If you only look at the surface and ignore the foundation, you'll pay a steep price. Mistake 2. Misunderstanding real cash flow. Financial reports can be dressed up. A seller might add one-time revenue from selling assets or delay expenses to make the numbers look better. If you don't dig deep, you could end up buying a business that appears profitable but is actually struggling. Remember, what matters isn't how high the company once peaked, but whether it can consistently generate steady profit. Mistake 3. Overlooking the human factor. A business isn't just numbers, it's people. If operations relied entirely on a single, experienced owner, things can fall apart once that person leaves. Likewise, if customers stayed mainly out of loyalty to the previous owner, you'll need a plan to keep them. There's a saying in US business acquisitions: when you buy a company, you're not just buying assets, you're buying relationships. Buy then build never promises a road lined in roses. It offers a powerful opportunity, but opportunity always comes with challenges. If you stay disciplined, analyze carefully, and look beneath the surface, you'll avoid the pitfalls that have trapped so many others. Part 7. Long-term thinking and the role of the new owner. Buying a business is only the starting line. What matters just as much, if not more, is how you build it once you've stepped in as the new owner. And here, Walker Deibel emphasizes one crucial principle: long-term thinking. Many new owners make the mistake of rushing in. They want immediate change, immediate results. But a business isn't like a car where you just change the oil, fill the tank, and it's ready to go. It's more like a garden. You have to observe, understand the soil, nurture it, and only then will you reap the harvest. A wise new owner doesn't bulldoze everything on day one. Instead, they listen to employees, observe customers, and study what has made the company successful over the years. Once you truly understand, that's when the build part begins. adding new layers of value. There are three main ways to do this. First, improve operations, optimize processes, adopt new technologies, and invest in training your team. For example, a cleaning service in Denver saved 20% in operating costs and boosted productivity just by introducing scheduling software. Second, expand products and services. A bakery in California originally sold only in-store. Under new ownership, they added delivery through mobile apps. Within months, revenue jumped significantly. This is building by creating new income streams from your existing customer base. Third, expand markets. A small medical equipment supplier might only serve one city, but a new owner could move sales online, opening up customers across the state or even nationwide. Long-term thinking means treating the business not as a short-term cash machine, but as a living asset, an organization capable of growth and evolution. Your role as the new owner is to preserve its core strengths while steadily enhancing its resilience and competitiveness. Walker Deibel argues that the difference between an average deal and a great one lies here. Short-term owners drain a company for quick profits and walk away. Long-term thinkers transform it into the foundation of their career, an asset to pass down through generations, and often a launchpad for building an entire business ecosystem. At its deepest level, buy then build isn't just a financial strategy, it's a philosophy. Acquire a business with roots already in place, and with vision, skill, and patience, plant new seeds that will make the field flourish many times over. In the end, Buy Then Build by Walker Deibel isn't just about a business strategy, it's about a different way of looking at entrepreneurship. Instead of starting from zero, you can step into the game with a foundation already in place, a stream of cash flow, a loyal customer base, and a capable team. From there, you bring your vision, your skills, and your drive to build it into something even greater. The deeper message is this: entrepreneurship doesn't have to be a lonely, high-risk path. You can become a true entrepreneur by inheriting, protecting, and expanding the value that others have already built. It's not only a smarter way to reduce risk, it's also a sustainable path to creating wealth, freedom, and a legacy that lasts. And if this book sparks even the smallest light in you, a fresh way of thinking about business and entrepreneurship, let that idea grow. And if you want to keep exploring books that challenge the way we think about money, investing, and careers, don't forget to hit follow and subscribe, because this journey is only just beginning.